Why, hello, hi, it is me, it is I, small town Didi, your Akadian, these every internet, Akastracha, I'm back, hello, yella. Yet another voiceover. I promise you, you will not perish from not seeing me roll my eyes on camera. Okay? It's not that I didn't understand that you guys have now gotten used to like how animated I am. Also, just the realization of like I'm a very expressive person in the face. Like, who knew? I mean, people who've been saying it all my life, but now that I edit, I see it. Anyway, that's what you guys miss, by the way. That's what the disconnect is when I do the voiceovers. But let's get into this. I watched Real Housewives of Durban season 5, episode 1, that dropped on the 28th of March. It is the 1st of April today. And are people still doing like April Fools and stuff? I don't know. What do I think of? I don't understand the recasting because I don't know what was wrong with the last cast. I feel like things were so real and raw and tense. I would have loved to have all the girls back, Zama included, just to see how we now navigate this tense space. I feel like I don't know, it's so annoying to me when people go through financial difficulties, so they just leave the show, or, hello, Laundry London. Um, who's this one who's a fave of mine who also just decided that she's not coming back, and then they let them do all of that. I see that Londy's going to make an appearance sometime later in the season. We see that in the trailer. But from the old cast, we have some OGs back, Nonko and what's her name? Jojo are back, and then we have Nonko and Soso are back. So Sarusha's back. Jojo's back. She joined second season, I think, and then with Angel, it's her second season because she joined us last season, season 4, right? And then everybody else is a new casting, right? We have somebody who goes by Lo. I don't know how she pronounces it, but Olo, I don't know, Lo. And she is a preacher's wife or a preacher herself. I don't know if they run their church together. I can already tell I'm iffy about her because people who make their money from um exploiting people's faith generally are my least favorite people. Like, it's just a thing that I can't stand preachers. I really cannot. And she's come on. She also has a trade school, so she makes some of her money from that. But we know how the preachers live, and we know how they get to live like that. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. We have another lady by the name of Kwanele. Kwanele comes, I think I'm saying it right. She comes to us by way of Angel. They are Instagram acquaintances. This time Angel didn't try to play it up or lie. I suppose watching herself back on camera, she realized that the lies just don't bode well for her, and she should probably cut that shit the fuck out. But we meet her by way of Angel. She is married and don't know how many kids she has, I forgot. The new girls were captivating to me, just in case you have not noticed. They just weren't, we didn't really get to see much about them. Also, it's just the first episode, so really there isn't much to see, right? I think she has a car rental service, something like that. Just something like that going on. And then we have another lady, we meet her way at the end. Jojo's having a vow renewal, and we meet this lady by way of Jojo at the vow renewal, and I don't know how they come to know each other. I don't care as well. And I think her name is Ayanda. I think her name is Ayanda. And we don't know much about these girls. They still new. But we have in the first a couple of scenes. Sarisha and Viv filmed quite. The scene was okay. I guess they need. It's like production has realized that they now need for So and Jojo to get along so that they can try to merge the division that was in the group, that very stark team Jojo, team So thing. They need them to get along now, especially because So doesn't have the backing of Slee, because Slee's not back for the season. Not sure why. She's been a lovely addition since she came on. Maybe it's because I've got a crush. I don't know. But I liked having her on. So links up with Jojo by their husbands, basically encourage them to try and make cool with each other. Their husbands are cool with each other. So Calvin explains to Jojo that how Viv reacted from the stuff that has been said about Sarisha is understandable to him, as her husband, if somebody had come for her like that, he would also feel the need to defend his wife to that degree. And Jojo seems to understand where he's coming from, and then she speaks to Sarisha, and then they decide that they're gonna link up and try to squash things. I really. Uh, Yes, Jojo chuckled, right? Everything happened. Neil called, basically insinuated that Soso is a glorified side chick to Viv, and that's how their marriage came to be. They've been married for some 20 years now. So this is things from what, 2005, that he's alleging that she was a side chick all the way back then. And this has like brought up some turbulence in her actual life. So tells us her dynamic now with Viv's ex-wife that was so good is, there was some friction there because of these dredged up rumors that were also televised. Um, and they did take it a step too far. I have such a problem with men like Neil being in these kinds of spaces and then wanting to do all of the slut shaming stuff while being in the space. It's such a conversation to have about how a man being gay doesn't make him exempt from any kind of misogynistic takes, spreading that kind of thing, like, slut shaming and all of that stuff, in the same way we can internalize misogyny and like spew it on each other. Women are often the biggest perpetrators of these kinds of things. It's not lost on me that gay men that we have in predominantly like female spaces or women spaces can have these tendencies themselves. I don't enjoy Neil at all. I find him try hard. I didn't enjoy him any of the times that he was on my screen. He's very much primed for reality television, and in the way that I'm like, I'm a consumer of reality television, I might actually make a bad addition to reality TV because I've consumed so much of it, right? Like, he wants to have the one liners, the little quips, the memeable moments and all of that stuff, and wanting to have the last read and read down and all of that shit. And it comes off very put on, very rehearsed. It's just not very genuine, and I don't enjoy having him on my screen whatsoever. I didn't mind Maria. I didn't mind Maria. I just feel like something happened last season when she was trying to really get back cool with Jojo. She was doing, she was trying a little too hard to get back in Jojo's good graces by throwing all the other women under the bus. All of that stuff that she was doing was just a little too desperate for me, but we move. Neither one of them is back this season. They sit down, Sarisha and Jojo, to try and squash everything. And she explains that you chuckling at like those accusations that Neil made, that was kind of messed up and all of that. Jojo for me is like, yes, taking accountability, but half taking accountability, because she says, oh, but I remember Sarisha also laughing at some stuff. Like, let's not run with the like false equivocation shit. Let's not start with that fucking mess now. What was said to the same degree that Neil said? What was said about Jojo that so chuckled at, that could have these kind of ramifications, like these ripple effects in her actual personal life? What on the same level was said? Did you see what I'm saying? It's shit like this with Joe, where you want to be like, oh, okay, we back cool with Joe, we whatever, where she just be, and then you realize, oh my god, the Arrested Development is like on tens, like it's on 100,000 trillion. Like, the bitch don't stop, okay? She just don't fucking stop. They squash it anyway. And this is that shit where you need to be careful not to Bluetooth the beef, right? Because we now have a situation where Nonko is in a very tricky space with Sarisha, which is crazy business, because Sosa has this problem of acting like Nonko is this like lapdog, or Nonko is this like Nonko's stauntness, like Nonko's Arrested Development of it all. So Risha tends to treat Nonko, has always treated Nonko like her, how she shows up in the world, like whatever has happened to her is this handicap that needs to be babied and all of that stuff. So it's like she's always had this like kid glove hands and soft approach with Nonko. And for a solid season, Nonko kept throwing it back in Sosa's face. And some of you have accused me of not being very objective when it comes to Sarisha, because I saw things from her perspective and Slee's point of view. And for you guys, you felt like, oh my God, like Didi, you're not seeing clearly because this or because that. But I remember things would happen, and Sarisha would always reach out to Nonko and try to see about her, right? When her violent best friend, that's Jojo, flung a glass on the table because she was not getting her way or whatever was happening. And the liquid that was in the glass ended up in Nonko's eye. It was Sarisha who checked up on her in the morning. When after that trip, or is it the other trip when they went back home, it was Sarisha who left her home and went to see about Nonko. It's always Sarisha, and then Nonko in her I'm trying to keep the Joku, Mariah, Joe, whatever thing going, would always like, spit back, like, or throw it back in her face, not be very appreciative of her efforts and whatever. I don't, in any friendship as a grown woman that requires you to burn bridges in order to demonstrate your loyalty, that's not a friendship worth keeping. That also demonstrates an insecurity about your position in said friendship. That's just how I see it. Because if I'm feeling that safe as Jojo's best friend, I wouldn't have any issues about staying cool with Sarisha, especially because Sarisha wasn't explicitly fighting with Joe necessarily, if you know what I'm saying. But I feel like her rejection of Sarisha, she's now in a very difficult position because later in the episode, we see Joe tell her that, I linked up with Soso, I linked up with Sarisha, and we squat. You can see she's taken aback, even when Jojo calls her after the meetup with Sarisha to say, "This is what happens. You will get left in the lurch because you have now tacked yourself onto beef that really had nothing to really do with you like that. You could have remained cool with that person, you know. You could have been, and I'm not. It's some things in real life. I feel like if a person hurts my friend, I will not maintain any kind of um I will not try to maintain any kind of cordial interaction with them for the sake of it's none of my business. Some things are too much, but nothing in this situation really warranted that from Nonko. But anyway, she's in a situation now where she's gonna have to make cool with Sarisha, who's a dog with a bone now, over the fact that um Nonku had called her a slut in a confessional. I gotta be honest with you. I didn't even recall that. Again, I'm not the one who was called a slut, right? These words tend to stay with the person that these things are being said about versus the person who's saying it or us watching. Literally off the top of my head, when she said to Jojo, when Soso said to Jojo, she called me a slut. I was like, when the fuck did Nonko do that? And they didn't run the tape back then. They ran the tape later on in the episode. I'm like, oh, Nonko did say that. That sounds like some shit that would come out of that Christian woman's mouth. Actually, that's on brand. That is totally on brand. But anyway, we're having a VAR renewal for Jojo. Jojo has a dress fitting that I don't care about. It's a fake dress fitting. We can all see that it's a fake dress fitting. She looks gorgeous in jewel tones. I am rather disappointed that she chose to go for a traditional white dress. Um, when they did but it's a renewal also, so I'm not shocked that it wasn't, whatever. She already had her big wedding, her top billing televised wedding and all of that stuff, but she looks so good in jewel emerald in particular. That jewel color sits magical on Jojo. It's the red hair and it's the tats, and it's probably like she doesn't really have a tan, really. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like jewel tones look gorgeous on that girl. Like they just fucking do. She's got a new whip. Her husband got her a very customized whip and this is why we watch. We love this shit, right? Her husband got a customized whip for her the 10th year wedding anniversary and stuff, and she's constantly going on and on about how everybody was calling me a gold digger, but it's 11 years and it's 10 years later and I'm still, yeah, well, baby, the money's still there. No, don't be fucking surly now, Joe. Don't do that shit. Oh, everybody's going out with it. The mine is still operational, babe. Why would you pack up shop and go? Why would you pack up shop and go? Get the fuck out of my face with this shit. Like, don't be silly, ho. Like, what are you on about? What even are you on about, girl? I'm not suggesting you don't love Calvin, but like having money makes relationship functional. I need to do a video on this. Guys, rojola wa dura. Like rojola is such an expensive exercise. You need money. Like you need money in order to make it cute. Guys, relationships that don't have money are so stressful. That's why when I see people with money not work out, I know shit was really bad because money can cover up a lot of things that are going awry. Truly. Like if it's anything the matter, Jojo's too distracted by all the cement smoke from renovating that house, every inch of it, every other second. She wouldn't notice. You understand what I mean? Right? Or she's drowning in overpriced acrylic paint, and oversized stretched canvases that her husband gets her so she can cosplay as an artist. It's really like, why would you not be happy? I didn't understand that. I didn't understand why she anyway. We move. They have their renewal. It's very cute. Their affection for each other is very real. It's subsidized by monetary means, which makes it a lot better because who the fuck wants to get with a fucking grandpa without money? Let's get so for freaking real now. Let's not do that shit. Okay. But anyway, enjoying Jojo. I think she's a gorgeous woman. I think I tell you guys that all the time. And then that's really it, guys. That was the episode. I was surprised that Soso confronted Barkemang Nongo at the thing, at Jojo's renewal. She says to her, well, people are out here calling me sluts. I don't like Sarisha's giddy approach. If she's going to revert back to that pageantry shit she was doing in the first season, I'm going to have to get off her bus with the quickness. If it's serious, it's serious. That should hurt your feelings. You don't need to be. And I understand that maybe, okay, I'm a very confrontational person, or I used to be. I'm healed now. That's a lie. But I'm the type to confront you with the seriousness that I received the insults. Like, yo, you call me a slut. What was that about? I think her nonku would have done better with a sit down like she had with Jojo versus the in front being in the group setting like that. I suppose she also feels like she needs the backing of the other women, because if you say, hey, you call me a slut, the other women are also going to be like, you're wrong for calling this other lady a slut, right? But now you like can chuckle and be all cute and giddy about it, so that the other women can come to your aid and like bat for you essentially. Because you honestly, if you bring that to me without the seriousness, I'm going to like receive it and throw it back at you with the lack of seriousness with which you gave it. I'm sorry. They need to sit down on their own to hash it out. They really do. And then she's all like fucking pretentious, talking to Nonko, talking about her. Oh my god, this color looks so great on you. That color does not look great on Nonko, and the dress is ill fitting. I don't know what the hell you're on about, so that dress is not working on that lady. Okay? Plenty of other things work on Nonko. She's a gorgeous woman. Gorgeous dresses look gorgeous on her. That shit was not working on her. It was too much dress and ill fitting. I didn't get it. I didn't get it. Especially around her waistline, which she paid so much money for. Let's get it together now. Come on now. I don't know. Did the same person who made that dress also make the dresses that for the Mummy Club, the season 3 Mummy Club outfits that they're wearing in the when they're doing their taglines? Um, those things are ugly. Did you guys pay attention? Did you peep that? Ill fitting. They have these exaggerated collars, like it looks like they were made by a student designer, like somebody who's in fashion school and they're learning how. It doesn't look like it was even steamed or ironed properly, that you can still see where the hems are and stuff. I'm like, get this shit out of my face. Like, what is this even? I've been meaning to rant about that Mummy Club thing. Ugly. The word is ugly. None of them are working. Mrs. J, go. And I think what's upsetting to me is that these women are gorgeous. And then they're always trying to, I don't know, are you trying to plug your friends as production? Your friend is like, went into little design and she's making clothes now. And you're like, oh my God, to me, like, let me give you this little gig. And then you give them this gig and it's like, and then you see these women in their own personal capacity when they have a stylist and whatever, they put together, they're gorgeous. And then when it's production's job to put them together, you guys have them looking a freaking hot mess. What's that about? What is that about? Anyway, we move. So I don't know how Sarisha's gonna navigate this season without Steve. She's probably just gonna have to like eat humble pie a little bit. Everybody's saying, oh, we couldn't say anything about Sarisha because Viv threatened us. Damn straight he did. as he should, and did as he should. What did you want that man to say while you were telling the whole world that um his current wife is actually a homewrecker to his first home, his first marriage? What do you think was gonna happen? Okay, yes, he's telling you he has 10 million set aside to swing you all about the place, right? Because you want to talk shit about his wife. That's what you want. That's the shit you want. You want an Uncle Viv to say, "That's my girl. I'm gonna bat for him." You know, that's what you want. Anyway, that's what's going on. The new girls on there, we will see about them as the season goes. I'm not too stoked. I don't know why we have so many new people. Yeah, man. Yeah, we'll see what it is. I wonder if the promo pic, the poster for the season, is anything to go by. But if you look at it, Jojo and Nonku are centered. Sarisha's not at the center of it, but she is sitting on the director's chair. I don't know. I don't know if. Anyway, that's it. Mwah, mwah. Bye, Yala.